Hello, this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts. I need to make a get well soon card. A dear friend of mine has just had a heart attack. I'm not quite sure how bad it is, but I think it's not too bad. And I thought I'll make him a get well soon card. And because it is a heart attack, I thought it would be a bit cheeky to actually have a heart themed card. So I thought, rather than inventing everything new, I'm going to base this on other cards I've already got on this channel, because I want this to be really, really quick and fairly simple. So I have just got some scrap paper here. This is just normal copy paper. I've printed something on it on the back, but it doesn't matter. And I could die cut from this because I need a stencil. I could die cut a heart from this, but I want actually a fairly wonky heart. So I'm just going to draw this on here. I don't want it to be too big. I've cut my card base here, or the layer, to 5.5 square, because this will go into my 5 7/8 square card. So I want to have a little bit of space around this heart. So I'm thinking just about this. I've drawn it a bit more wonkily than I will actually cut it out. But I think if I put it on here, I think that will be a good size. And I deliberately made this bigger than that side. What I don't want is to destroy either of these parts. So when I cut into this now, I will make sure that I preserve both bits, and I will only cut once. So just using my ordinary scissors. I could use my round nail scissors, but I think this is just as fine. You don't even have to cut on the line specifically, as long as I keep this shape more or less what I've done it. I've made it a bit wider here now. Trying to meet that point where I cut it, not to mess the bottom up. Overgone a little bit, but I think that would be okay. So, and one thing I need to do is stick this back together so that this doesn't come undone when I need to have the outer bit of that stencil. So I'm just putting a bit of clear tape here over the top, and I will just cover that tiny little spot I had here that I cut into, just to keep this in place. So the first thing I want to do is to put some ink down, and I've cut this almost to the width of the card, so I know it will be centered. I'm just checking, sorry, I'm going off camera there. I'm just checking that the bottom is similar to the top. I'm fine with that. So I might actually lift it up just a little bit. I can check on the other side there. I think I will actually also stick it down with my low tack. Can't find it now. I'll just use normal tape, because this will be the back of the card. So again, you can't see this. Sorry, just at the bottom here, or top rather, I stuck this down. Need to move up a little bit here on the desk. So to put some ink down, I have got my Lavinia Elements Emperor Red, and all I will do to start with is just to do some very light ink blending over this. So I've just got my ink blending brush. This is a fairly new pad, so it's probably very juicy, so I'm just taking some ink off here, just testing this on the side. Yeah, so with a very, very light application, I'm just coming in here with some sort of swirling motions. I like the texture of that, just like this, and as you can see, it's really, really very light. So, and then I'm coming in with a stencil. I was looking for my stencil, you know, the one that's got sort of like hard openings. Can't find it. My craft room definitely needs tidying, and I wanted to do that today, but I'm doing this instead now. So I thought I'd just use this one, because this one looks like flames to me, and I thought like a flaming heart would again be a good theme. So I'm just having a look how I'm placing this. This has got bigger openings on this side and smaller openings on that side. So I'm just testing whether I think I'll actually go for the bigger openings because I want to do a little bit of stamping as well. So, and all I'm doing, I think, just with the residue on the lid here, is just, I'm just going over this again, just to give a little bit more interest to the ink blended part on this. And I'm going in different directions to catch all the parts here. So I can lift that up as well. Can you see? So I think I'll just go in again here. Doesn't have to be perfect at all. So I think that'll be fine. So if you wanted to, you could leave it like this, but I think I want a little bit more. And for that, I have chosen a few small stamps. I've got this collection here. Again, I haven't written down what it is. I did that in my last living year video. I need to sort my stamps a little bit better. This one's the mini leaf. I thought just to have a little selection of these stamps. I don't even know whether I will use them all. And I've got another red colour here, but this is the VersaFine Clear, which is better for stamping. So I've just got the tulip red. I don't want to introduce any other colours as such, so I shall just be stamping a little bit again with inside this heart. So definitely will use that leaf and the flower. I think I'll start with the flower actually. Yeah. So, and I really want more or less a really mad pattern. And I've chosen copy paper so it can actually stamp on the edges as well. Trying not to be too symmetrical. So then I'm coming in with these leaves here. With these I try to rotate the stamp a little bit, coming in from the edges. And again, just creating some sort of pattern on the already patterned heart. And it looks a bit like a mess at the moment, but once we take the mask off, I think it will be fine. So this is a bit too symmetrical actually for me. I didn't think about that. I'll try to break that up now with adding another set of these leaves. So I think I try to go in between here. One more there, and I think then I'll come in with a flower. And it's best to start with the bigger stamps and then use the smaller ones to fill in any gaps. I don't want to completely fill this, but definitely to create the areas, or sorry, fill the areas that are very open now. So I think one more there. And I'm just having a quick look if it's balanced. I could do with something there. So it looks very wild at the moment. I brought this stamp out, but I think I won't use it because I think that would be... No, I'll tell you what, I will use it. I chose this one because it's finer, and I thought it would be nicer to fill in any gaps and to overlap as well. So I'm just going for it. As actually on this it looks very similar to that one now, but never mind. Sometimes I think we just have to do, sometimes we can easily overthink it. So I think sometimes it's just quite good to just go for it. I'll leave it at this now, I think. I'll step away. So I can now take this off, and what looked like a really hot mess before is actually now a really nice patterned heart. I'm happy with that. So my thought for the other embellishments were this. My dear friend, he is a drummer. That's what he does, he drums. And I thought he likes a party. I should, sorry, whilst I'm turning away from the camera with my voice as well, I think I should get the mice out. And they look like they're having a party. I might just have two, so one on either side. But I will definitely come in with a pen and give one of these mice a drum to play with. And I've also, to go with that theme, brought in the musical notes small. So I think I will stamp those at the top and then can have some mice here at the bottom. I will have a play here. Jo Rice, what she does, she uses the acetate to have a play, but because mine are stuck down here, I sometimes just have a play with the stamps themselves. Just make sure they're clean when you place them down. See, this one could sit here nicely. And if I move it a bit away, I could have space for a drum there. And then I could, that's Minnie and Moo. See, and I could have Minnie on this side, just dancing along to that music. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. So I like to use my stamping platform sometimes, but when I want a quick card, I might just as well use an acrylic block. So the important thing though is that I ink it up thoroughly. These silhouette stamps, they need quite a bit of ink. And I've also got the suspicion that my VersaFine, the black onyx, could do with refilling, re-inking. So as I just place him or her here, and I give it a bit of time for the ink to seep into that paper. There we go. And I'm looking at that stamp at the moment thinking I should be a bit more Jo Rice and clean it straight away. I know it will still be sitting there in 3 days' time, although I should really do that today when I've got a bit of time. So I'm being mindful that I might have some ink on my finger there. So I'm placing this straight and going for it. Good thing is with the mice, because they're dancing, you can move them a little bit without them looking awkward. Some of these stamps that definitely need to be stamped straight. There we go, that's lovely. If you ever have any specks, I could be really critical. What I like to do is just use a brush, ink it up on the stamp pad and then just fill it. But with this one, I think I'm actually quite happy with that. So I'm just getting some musical notes. So I'm not even sure which way around these go. I think I put one lot on this side and I'm overlapping them a little bit with a heart. And then the other lot can go on the other side. Just wondering whether I want them to overlap. I think I'll put them a bit higher. This breaks up the pattern a little bit. There we go. So I'll also zoom in a little bit because I'm just getting conscious that you might not be able to see the small details. So I'm getting a pen now. I've actually got one on my desk here, just checking whether this one's too thick. Getting some scrap paper. No, this one's fine. So, as I said, my mouse needs a little drum. And if I say drum, it's one of those drums. Can you see? Just a little bit like this. that'll do. So I will actually turn this round so that I can draw this straight. Just thinking which way the mouse would be holding it. Not that it really matters. I don't want it too big either. There we go. And I will give it a bit of a pattern here on the side. Get a bit of shading as well. I'm just dotting a few black specks. And then we need a drumming stick. So let me just zoom in a little bit. Just thinking whether I want a bit more shading here. I'd come in with a little pen or so with a got a bit of a smudge of red there. Never mind, that's probably somewhere from my fingers. I've got the tendency to put my fingernails in it as of late. So yeah, I will definitely find a black crayon. I happen to have one here. It's one of my watercolour ones, so I think I will just fill this up a little bit because I think the white is a bit too harsh with these silhouette stamps. So just lift this up. I think that's better. So, and then all I need is a little sentiment, which will definitely go across here to get rid of that. I could try with my, I've got a razor here, whether I can take it off with that. Yeah, a little bit, but I think I will just put my sentiment here at the bottom, and then I will put it on the card base. I'll quickly do that, and then I'll come back to show you the finished card. Just as I was looking for my sentiments, I found the stencil that I would have liked to use, because this has got these funny hearts. Would have been nice as well, but I think this one here is just as nice. So, one more thing as well. I don't know why I thought I would need this and why I told you not to cut into this. What you could do if you wanted to, you could mask this heart off and then come round with another stencil and ink that up, maybe even in a different colour, but I didn't want to do that, so I don't actually need this, but it might come in handy for another little project. But what I did decide, first of all, I stamped the other notes here on the top. I felt it needed a little bit something on the top there. But what I did decide is I wanted to give this a frame, and rather than matting it, I thought I'd just ink up the card base all the way around. And for that, I have just put some paper underneath here. I have opened the card, and I'm just putting some scrap paper here on the side. You could use some masking tape if you wanted to. I don't want to waste any masking tape, so I'm just laying this here over the score line. Even got the ink block here to keep a bit of weight on it. And I'm just using the residue on my ink blending brush to go all over this. So really just, if I hold it over there, I know how much ink I actually need or how far I need to go into the center. So it's not a lot, but I'll just shift that. But I just wanted a little bit of color all the way around. So I'm holding this in place here. And again, I like to go in circular motions. You might want to do that differently. And when I feel like I don't have enough ink on it, I just increase the pressure, and that will give me more ink there. And I can now sort of go back and forth so not to waste anything, too much ink on the inside there. And I think this is just enough. It's not really red, it's a bit more of a pink now, but that will go nicely with the first layer there. Can you see? I'll actually take this one off now so you can see. If you think it's not strong enough, you can always ink up your brush again, but I think this is quite nice. So rather than showing you the finished card, I will just do this off camera now. So stick this down and then you can see this in my thumbnail. And I think this is a really nice card for my dear friend who hopefully will feel better soon and yeah, go back to his drumming. I also thought, whilst I was looking for my sentiment, that the drumming actually is a quite nice hint at the heart as well. I'll probably put something on the inside that I'm hoping that his heart will drum in tune again soon. So yeah, and if you like this card too, you might want to give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of what I'm creating, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that. And I'll see you soon with another video.